my goodness, that game was beautiful. A spectacle. That tribute, I cried every time. And you know the most beautiful part of all? People actually enjoyed something wholesome and fun? Even better. What? John Tavares scored the first goal of the game, too perfect, for his 69th point of the season. What? At the 4:20 mark of the first period. Hi! Victory puppy! Plan the parade!
I have no idea what I'm doing.
John Tavares is the lead! This team is ruining my life! Victory puppies, boys! Oh yeah, aren't love and hugs stupid? Aren't they so dumb? We love you, Johnny. We love you, Leafs. We love you, everybody. Leafs win! 5-2 over the Buffalo Sabres. Oh, we'll do a Sabres fan if I were you down the line. Leafs fans, regarding this game, we already know what happened. The tribute before the game was the big story. The fact that the Leafs actually answered the bell was the more encouraging one. Adam Wilde, my dear friend and Steve Dangle podcast co-host, he came up with an idea for a hashtag, Tavares Day TO. Basically, hey, let's make a big deal about John Tavares and show him how much Toronto loves him and how much Leafs fans love him. And the amount of people who called it ridiculous and disgraceful and cringeworthy, and he's a multi-millionaire, he doesn't need your hugs and kisses. I don't have a whole lot to say on that subject other than truly I am so happy for you that you are too cool to have fun. We get up in the morning and we shower, I hope, and we brush our teeth and we fix our hair and we pick our best outfit in the hopes of looking our best and you know what? Seeming kind of cool. A lot of people want to be cool, they just want to have some fun and be cool with people who accept them. So for you to be so very cool is an accomplishment. Tell me, who read the eulogy when the fun in you died? The nuances of the John Tavares situation are fascinating to get into, but at the root, they're really simple. A great number of Islanders fans no longer like him, and almost all Leaf fans seem to enjoy him quite a bit. And Islanders fans are allowed to yell and shout at him all they want. There's nothing wrong with that as long as there's no lines crossed. I tended to draw it at throwing stuff at him. And if Leaf fans choose to voice their appreciation for this player who has been amazing for them this season and committed to the team and city for 7 years, I think they're allowed. And if his feelings were hurt and he wants to wipe his tears with a wad of cash, that's his prerogative. As for you and your truly very unfun opinion, go be unfun somewhere else. We're having fun. Ah, fun and love and camaraderie. How lame, huh? Who hurt you? Let's talk about it. I'll lend you a friendly ear. And then afterward, if you're willing, we'll talk about hockey and have some fun. So if you're on board to have fun, that's wonderful. And if you're not, have a fart in a small room, take a whiff, and post a review by midnight. Let's talk about the game, huh? So first, before the game, I noticed, hey, John Tavares is the only guy standing on the blue line. And I thought, that might mean something. Because when warm-ups began, Tavares was the first person posted on the video screen, and everyone who was there, which was actually a sizable crowd already, went nuts. Signs along the glass. You just had a feeling something special was about to happen. And then I looked at the Sabres blue line, and I'm like, Rasmus Ristolainen is standing alone. But that's probably because no one likes him. No, I was looking from the press box like, good. And then it's John Tavares' turn to have his name announced. He's in the starting lineup. Babcock didn't have to do that. They haven't even said his name yet. People are standing. People are going ballistic for John Tavares. And I had the good fortune of actually being at this game, and I'm kicking myself for not taking a video. I just enjoyed it in the moment like an old person. God, I'm so stupid. And he did something small and all that. He took off his helmet. I know hockey has the stick raise. Everyone does the stick raise. In baseball, you can take off your cap. In hockey, it's like, I don't know, what do I do with this? I don't know why I appreciate it. I did, okay? And I've been to Leaf playoff games. Like, I think that was louder than before the games in the playoffs. And all right, the emotion is high. The team is ready. John Tavares is a Leaf, and he's on the ice. Let's go! Why haven't they started? So once again, because I was at the game, I don't know exactly what happened, but either a pane of glass came out or the netting came unhooked or something, but there was like a 10-minute delay. So everyone's just sort of sitting on their hands waiting for the game to start, and it's extra pressure because it's Saturday night, national television hockey night in Canada. I have no idea what the broadcast did. But when it comes to live hockey games in the Leafs, I have a little bit of an idea of how the sausage is made. I was the in-arena host for the Mississauga Steelheads for one season, and I used to work for Leafs TV. And I know people are running around like crazy on headsets going, oh, do something! Because the Leafs want to put on a good show, and they don't just want people sitting there. So I have my back turned, I'm talking to someone, all I hear is dish, 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 and the Leafs staff are just firing t-shirts out of those cannons into the crowd, like, hey, distraction! They got that, like, little bouncy rubber version of Carlton the Bear, like, isn't everybody having a good time? So I gotta give a huge shout out to all the Leafs staff who worked last night's game. You had to tap dance right from well, before opening face-off and onward. In-arena hosts Danielle and Scott getting on the mic like, hey, stuffing things. That's a difficult situation, and they made it fun. And they eventually fixed it, and the game started. Only a few minutes in, 4:20 in, as a matter of fact, Marty Marincin puts it on. Mad scramble in front, no one has any idea what's going on, and brrr, I'm on the other end of the arena, I have no idea what's happening. Apparently John Tavares scored. Through the magic of video replay, though, you see that the puck is loose in front, and Tavares pots it. Too perfect! That's a very fortunate goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs, though, because refs are ultimately human, and the puck was, I don't know how they kept an eye on it the whole time. Like, that could have easily been one of those plays that was blown dead just because the ref's like, I don't know where it is, I assume it's under the goalie. Not quite. Almost, but not quite, and Tavares finds it for number 37, his 69th point at the 4:20 mark of the first period, and the Leafs are up 1-0. I gotta stop doing that, that hurts. And it was so emotional and perfect and fun, and they barely get done announcing the goal when the Sabres score. Kind of a replica of the Leafs goal. The Sabres put it on from the point. Where's the puck? Where's the puck? Oh, there it is, and it's in. The population of Pominville ties it at ones. Not long after, Nikita Zaitsev has the puck at the offensive blue line. He fires it. Where was that going, Nick? Okay, the Sabres retrieve it in the corner, and they send it the other way. The Sabres with a moonshot through the air, up and over everybody, except for Connor Sherry and Nikita Zaitsev, who's back. Sherry gets it. Zaitsev can't do anything about it. He snipes on Freddie. Jeez. Well, this is the opposite of fun, and the Sabres are up by 1. Now, watching this in person, I was gonna hammer Nikita Zaitsev for this, and apparently Don Cherry did much of the same. What I think Zaitsev did wrong, the puck is still in the air, and I'm watching him like, dude, that's way too much room. No gap control on Cherry. But there was a little bit of bad luck involved. That moonshot of a pass through the air, it somehow just lands dead on the ice, right on Cherry's stick. Like if it flips, bounces, rolls, goes forward for crying out loud, Zaitsev's probably fine and can start a breakout. Nope, it just died. And it sucks because the Leafs, a team I always accuse of not starting on time because they bloody well don't, actually do, and now they're down. At least I thought they were the better team so far. End of the period. There's a mad scramble. The Leafs are trying everything they can. Kapanen gets a couple chances. Hainsey's falling all over at the blue line. Matthews gets the puck and somehow creates this because he's Austin Matthews. Morgan Riley floats it on. Oh, that one too? I had no idea what happened. It just trickles in past Linus Ullmark, and the Leafs tie it up before the end of the first. I don't remember what they announced in the arena. People were saying Patrick Marleau might have tipped it. I didn't think so. I thought it went off of Rodriguez's bum. And after maybe a little bit of bad luck in the Sabres' second goal, the Leafs get some right back on their second goal. But you create your own luck, and what did I say? It was, well, it couldn't have been last game. They got killed. The game before with Austin Matthews. Part of why I think he works so well with Johnsson and Kapanen is their speed demons, and there's just this vacuum of attention wrapped around Austin Matthews. Because he's Austin Matthews, you have to. Guy doesn't even have to shoot. He can basically do whatever he wants with the puck, and Johnsson and Kapanen especially can be confident that whoever they're up against isn't going to beat them to wherever the puck is. Slightly different personnel on the ice, but the result is the same. Two guys go at him. Morgan Riley's wide open, and he ends up scoring a goal. One that should have been stopped, a low percentage shot, doesn't matter. He created something, anything, and it resulted in the positive for the Leafs. And good, too, because for crying out loud, the Leafs outshot the Sabres 16-10 in the first. In the second period, a relatively quieter period where the shots were only 7-7, was a great example of Freddie is not always often called upon, but when he is called upon. Sabres with a clear breakaway. Oh my goodness, that's Jeff Skinner. Morgan Riley like, no. Doesn't fully stop it, but helps just enough to make Freddie's job a little bit easier. You know what's amazing? Garrett Sparks takes so much crap from Leafs fans, and I think part of that is because we take Freddie for granted. Like, dude, he makes saves like that every single game, but we often forget about it. Sometimes it doesn't even make the highlights because the Leafs score so many goals, and a lot of them are beautiful. Like, listen, we had a long talk about the Leafs backup goalie situation on the last podcast. I don't want to get into it right now. All I'm saying is you got to admit, Freddie Anderson is a pretty tough act to follow, and thank goodness he is the starter for my team. Later in the period, that fourth line looking for a little bit of redemption. They were on the ice for Buffalo's first goal. I believe that was Nick Petan's first shift as a Leaf. Fun, welcome. Trevor Moore digging away behind the net. Nick Petan screaming for it. Blam! Would you believe me if I told you that was his first goal of the season? Nick Petan, he had a weird celly on that one, scores his first as a Toronto Maple Leaf, giving the Leafs the lead. And just a little thing on this goal, not trying to humble brag, but I was in a box last night, and Kyle Dubas was clearly visible, standing up, writing notes, and on his iPad the whole game. I mean, he was watching the game too, but he was only 4 Swedes down. And I waited for it to get nice and quiet. Hey, Kyle! Sick trade! And I don't know if it was me, but I saw him smile. I mean, let's be honest, the guy he just traded for scored. It might have been someone closer to him yelling the same thing. But I like to think. Anyway, last minute of the second period, you gotta keep that pressure on. Zach Hyman, who's, I think, been fantastic for like at least a month now, gets a couple whacks at it, nothing going. But a bounce here or there, it ends up on John Tavares' stick. Now, watching the highlights, I gotta get you to watch this too. I don't know who said it, but someone goes, "You got time, Johnny!" And he used it, but not too much of it, to hand it off to Mitch Marner. Marner, even his bad passes are great. He doesn't really have any time, so he just sort of stick handles a weak pass against the boards. But it was for Nikita Zaitsev, who goes and gets it. Throws it in front for Zach Hyman, who is in perfect position, scores! Way to go! Oh, that is actually Nikita Zaitsev's third goal of the season. A forward playing defense, as I learned after the game, gets a goal. And if I'm not mistaken, he's only scored one goal this year that didn't hit off of the other team. But who gives a damn? It went in, didn't it? And I love the smirk and the reaction of his teammates, because Zaitsev doesn't score a ton. He had 4 goals his first year as a Leaf, but it took him forever to get his first one. He had 5 last season. He's only got 3 this one. But in the KHL, his final 2 seasons, 12 goals in just 57 games, 8 goals in just 46. And I had the chance to talk to him when he was a rookie with the Leafs, and I asked him what he wants for Christmas. And he said, oh, maybe score some goal. I like when he scores some goal. His teammates like when he scores some goal. He likes when he scores some goal. I've been saying it for a while. The guy needs to shoot more. I mean, look at this game. If you don't count empty netters or goals that hit off of Sabres defensemen, this is a tie game 2-2. I don't know if you've noticed this. Stuff happens. Shoot. Freddie was enormous in the third period. The shots were 9 for the Leafs to 20 for the Sabres. I'd love to say something about quantity over quality, but no, the Sabres had both. And they were just whiffing on the puck all night. And I guess this is where the Sabres fans, if I were you, comes in. I hate being this guy. I'm not amped about it. I think that team needs a little bit of veteran leadership. I think the Sabres going forward need some veteran leadership. I look at this team and the talent's there, but they get so down on themselves, it looks like. Sort of the same thing in Edmonton a little bit. Of course, the X factor for most teams, maybe Edmonton more than Buffalo, is the talent's just not there. Top end, for sure. Depth, no. Now, devil's advocate, a lot of people are going to be like, veteran leadership, is that Canadian for goaltending? Well, true. They haven't really had that, and maybe that's why they're so down on themselves, but the Sabres' body language is miserable. And I think if Eichel gets going, like, that's a guy who's got some swagger, man. I genuinely think Jeff Skinner's going to stay there. The Sabres probably get a pretty high pick this year. Who knows, might even play in the NHL. Maybe they sign a free agent, and honestly, they could be playoff bound next season. A couple stops would be nice too. That's how I would feel if I were you. Leafs shut the door. The Sabres pull the goalie with like 3 minutes to go. Zach Hyman ready in front for the tap it. He's a good guy. He lets Mitch get it. Marner getting his 3rd point of the night. John Tavares as well with the assist. 3 points each, and the Leafs win. Couple notes on this game. Tyler Ennis came out of the lineup for this one. I don't mind that. He didn't have the greatest game against the Islanders after looking pretty good in the previous few. You got to at least see what you have in Nick Petan, and I have no problem with Mike Babcock sort of platooning them into the playoffs. If Petan emerges as the guy who should earn that spot, great. If Ennis is rested for the playoffs and he's clearly better, great. Trevor Moore's still in the lineup, man. 5 points in 11 games. He was killing penalties in this one. I think Babcock likes this player, and he should. And maybe most important note about this game, well, I should also say Kasperi Kapanen looks fine. He almost didn't play in the Islanders game. But someone who I was convinced was hurt, sort of in the Edmonton game and definitely in the Islanders game, Jake Muzzin looked really good in this one, I thought. I don't know what his performance was like. I don't know what his numbers were or anything. I just know he looked like he was able to actually do things, you know, like move around and hit. Guy looked like he could barely skate against the Islanders. Looked like he was in agony. It's so good to see him improve a little bit in that department. Oh, and one last note before questions. Second intermission, I walked down to the concourse to meet with some folks, and who do I see standing there? That brilliant mustachioed man, Commander Chris Hadfield. I shook hands with an astronaut at a Leafs game! My childhood plan worked. God, it was fun. And the Leafs won. Questions? Any updates on the book tour? Not at the moment, but I do know that they're working on it, and we should have dates. I know I said this before. Hopefully this week. I'm pretty sure we will. It's gonna start very Ontario heavy, and then we're hoping to expand. John Tavares is a Leaf! Reed, not an Islander. I know, isn't it great? Is Nick Petan gonna be offer sheeted? Yes, and I'm terrified. That's a great tweet. Nickname for Petan? Also, rate my victory puppy. Well, first of all, that victory puppy is smiles out of fun. That makes sense. If he makes a clever play, maybe this tweet with your dog is a sign that it should be pet smart? No, you'd hate that, you're right. Maybe that guy who tied Per Lindholm in goals in one game? A lot of people were saying he could be Peter Petan, but if he gets a goalie pulled, he could be Captain Hook. He just got here. Give it time. We'll figure it out. maybe we'll end here. The Leafs have 4 60-point players already. That's bananas. Assuming everything stays the course, they'll have 4 70-point scorers. Is this the best offense the Leafs have had in your lifetime? And what's funny is Austin Matthews has missed significant time, and William Nylander has been scoring at about a 70-point pace for about a month now. And also wasn't able to find the back of the net, but looked fantastic in this one. Like, yes, simply yes. Listen, the Leafs defense remains a weakness, but Freddie has been fantastic back there. What happens with score effects if the Leafs head into the third? There's a reason they're undefeated heading into the third with a lead anyway. Or are they still? Whatever, the record's fantastic. When the other team just goes all offense against the Leafs, sometimes it works. But if you abandon your post for a second against this team, it's so deep, so full of talent, they'll just go right back the other way and score another one. But the Leafs will find a way. Their offense, in some ways, is their defense. It's the best of my lifetime. So good. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like to tell all your friends. My book, This Team is Ruining My Life, is still available for pre-order. If you call your local store, they might actually have it already for some reason. So call them and let me know, because I'd like to know.